Hari Om everyone. We are starting this final class of the Tattwabodha text. We have almost covered the text completely. This is just a summary and conclusion. So we'll start with the chanting first. Do chant at your end. On Zoom, of course, it's not possible to chant together. So you may keep reading or chanting on your end too, please. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sah Viryam Karvavahai तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ गणानां त्वा गणपतिगं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमम् ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पत आनशृण्वन्नोतिभिः सीदसादनम् ॐ श्रीमहागणपतये नमः सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणि विद्यारंभं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः. The Mangalacharan for the text. वासुदेवेन्द्र योगीन्द्रं नत्वा ज्ञानप्रदं गुरुं मुमुक्षूणां हितार्थाय तत्त्वबोधोऽभिधीयते तत्त्वबोधोऽभिधीयते. So we have seen the text, most of it we have looked at now. This is just to sum up on what we have seen so far. Basically, we have seen the full text where the first the adhikari is determined, the person capable of studying the text. Then Atmagyan is given in the form of Aham Atma, I am Atma, Satchid Anand Rupa of the nature of existence, consciousness, bliss. And then when this Atma is my nature, then I am not a karta or I'm not a doer, but only I appear to be a doer because of my ignorance. So, ignorance being beginningless, there is no starting point to the number of janmas, the number of births that I've had before. So many births have gone by, and all through those births, I have accumulated so many karmas. And all those become what is called the sum total of my karmas in the name of Sanchit karmas. So those karmas are the basis of what I experience in my current life, right? So a few of those karmas are ready to be matured for this birth. Those are called prarabdha karma. And the ones that I create in this birth after being born, they become agami karma. They become the source for my situations or fruits in life in the coming years of the life and also for future lives, right? So just like everything takes time to mature, so according to that, the fruit is received at that time only. So it depends on with what intent we have done an action. Even if it is something like a monetary target, say if I want to have, I tell myself I want to have 1 crore rupees or $1 million. So it depends on how I start. Now, if I start with a 100 rupees or $10, then just putting it in a bank, it will take so many years, hundreds of years. But if I save little bit more and more every year, then the target will be achieved faster. So that is why it will take different times for any kind of sankalpa or any kind of thought that I have put forward for it to mature according to the effort I have put in it. So we have to be very careful here. Karma and karma phala we are using interchangeably. Actually, karma is the action that we do, and phalam is the result we get out of that. It is in the form of some kind of positive fruit. It can be an object, and it also can be in the form of a situation. So if we have worked hard to uh, create a house, so that for that the effort that goes into it will constitute the karma. And then finally, when the house becomes ready to for me to move in and live in, that is when I start to enjoy my karma phalam. That is the karma phalam, right? So the basis for the karmas we saw earlier also is in the form of the three gunas. All of us have are born out of these three gunas. We have different proportions. So according to the ratio of the sattva, rajas, and tamas, according to whatever ratio is present in each one of us, according to our previous desires, the sattva and rajas and tamas, they are present in varying proportions within us, and according to their proportion, I am given a Varna, Jati, and Kul. So basically, Varna is decided there. Varna, where more of Sattvam represents I am Brahman, a little bit more of Rajas means I am a Kshatriya. A balance of two with some Tamas means I am a Vaishya. And then if I'm more of Tamas, then one is a Shudra. So if I am a Shudra, then we are given accordingly different duties. Whatever be my inclination, according to that my group, my varna is decided, and then I'm given certain duties, because just having a varna doesn't give me only rights. I have my duties. So society, or rather nature itself, gives us those duties. The rishis, who are capable of seeing into the future or seeing into the past, or seeing those hidden truths, they are able to tell us which person is born with into which varna. So they have told us that even in the Gita it's mentioned that we are born into the family generally where this we can continue. Of course, this thing is changing with time. In Kali Yuga, the sharp demarcation between the different varnas disappear. But all in all, for all the varnas, there is one common rule: we are all born out of Prakriti, nature. So nature has given us everything. Nature has given us all the facilities that we need in our life. So we all have a debt, a rinam, a karja. We all have uh, a duty towards nature, which stems out of the all the things that we have received from it. In return, we have to give back as much as possible. So that is why when we are when we go beyond nature, when we go into Atmagyanam, we are left with no duties. But for a man of the world, even if he has knowledge, while transacting in the world, you have all got duties. So those duties we have to follow. Right? The sannyasi has no duties, but the ones who are living in the world, they have to follow those duties. So all these duties involve a large aspect of what we call a sacrifice, right? We have to give up as much as possible, because we receive a lot more in proportion, we give back very little. So we have to do maximum good for maximum people around us. We have to give the most possible. That is the duty of all, be it Kshatriya, Brahman, Vaishya, or Shudra. That is the first rule. And when all these varnas they do their duty, then only the society runs smoothly. And also, all for all duties equally, persons are available for all categories, right? But in Kali Yuga, all are greedy. People are only money oriented. So people give up their varna. So only those varnas are occupied, the ones that generate more money. The rest are left depleted. And so a lot of gaps come into the structure of society, right? But in an ideal situation, it is required that we all follow our Varna Ashram Dharma or our Swadharma. Whatever is my Swadharma, my own Dharma, my own duty is decided by my nature. Whatever be my nature, accordingly, I am given a lot of duties. So a Brahman has to teach, a lot of people. He has to study, he has to keep on studying. He has to live with minimum amount of resources, eat minimum food. That is common for all, of course, but more so for Brahman. Then there are different food requirements for every people, right? So the Brahman is supposed to eat sattvic food, so he will avoid non-veg food. Of course, everyone is required to eat less of non-veg food, but the Shastra allows everyone other than Brahmins to eat non-veg because they have their own duties. Someone who has more rajas, his activities oriented towards that, he is allowed that kind of food. But if your sensitivity is higher, is rising higher, even if you are born in the other varna, you can move towards having more sattvic vegetarian food. The recommendation is, of course, always to move towards sattva. That is our road for progress. That is our road for progress. That is how we should move forward in life. The more we move towards sattva, the more our mind opens up towards knowledge, right? And of course, once we are open towards knowledge, then uh, the food and all will stop to matter also. We have conquered that peak, right? So when we are into this path, then because of our karmas, Anita asked something about Satkarma Janyam, so just repeating it. So we are given a human body because of the when we are left with the preponderance of or majority of good karmas. So we have from trillions and untold numbers or infinite number of previous births, we have a huge bank balance of karmas, right? Out of that, the uh, the bad karmas or the pap karmas, they mature very fast because those vrittis are very strong, right? When we're angry towards someone, that vritti is very difficult to let go. That thought is difficult to let go. So that demands to be fulfilled or be given a karma phalam very fast, right? So its fruit also is going to come faster. So if we have hurt someone, we will also get hurt back in return, and it might happen faster than the other good things. But the other good vrittis, they take time for us to build. Even sadhana, it takes a long time for us to build. So the fruit of sadhana will come similarly with a longer time. So earlier we are born into lower yonis, right? We were humans so many times earlier also in the past. We will be humans later on in the past, future also. But if we don't make use of this human birth, we will again go back to the lower yonis because we have not fulfilled what is our duty as a human. And so we will be born back. So there are stories like Jad Bharat where he had an attachment towards a deer, and he was born for one janma back as a deer. And once he lived out that vritti, he was already almost a jnani till then. That vritti was the only one that held him back. So when he was born again, he was what we call Jad Bharat, totally oblivious to the effect of objects around him, totally oblivious. So because of that, he was able to conquer in his next birth uh, the the peak of moksha. He was able to attain moksha by the grace of the Lord. Of course, the grace of the Lord is always there. So just like in another case of this Gajendra moksha, the elephant itself attained moksha because of his memory of a verse in the previous birth which he chanted. And so the Lord decided that he didn't even need another birth to be given moksha. He was granted in an animal body also, which is one rare instance. Usually it is through human body only. So this body that we are given is to be used with the best of care so that we do good deeds, help people around us, develop the universe, develop the nature, be in sync with nature. That is the demand placed on us by nature or prakriti. And unless we do it, we will suffer. So in this janma and also in future janmas. So now this because of this uh, duties that we are given in earlier times, where people were more aware of those duties in Satyug, then so on. It started decreasing in the different yugas, as I said earlier also. So it became lesser in Treta, more less in Dwapar. In Kalyug, the duties are not very well held on to. People are selfish. For them, everything is like, I want this. Why should I not be given this? Given this. So they are first about rights. But we have to remember the rule holds for all time in nature that we need to do our duties before we can claim our rights. There is a very beautiful essay by A.G. Gardner we read in school. It was about it said the rule of the road. So there he told about how our duties are more important to us than the rights. First, we have to fulfill duties, then only the rights become available to us. So similarly, we have to do our duties towards nature. So this uh, of these duties, as I said, there were five kinds of karma. So out of that, nitya karma represents those karmas that are our duties towards the universe. And if we don't do them, we suffer what we call pratyavaya dosha, the fault of not doing a duty. So, like I said, for that, even intent is not does not matter. Uh, then Rita ji asked earlier also, what can we get karma phala when I don't have any bad intent? So only for those kind of karmas where I have not done my duty towards nature, the fruit is going to come in any case, right? But of course, for the others where I am doing something good or bad to someone, their intent matters a lot, right? So if my intent is bad, I will suffer. Sometimes something I've done to hurt someone will not give me bad karma phala because that was for the good. And very simple example for that is the parents, the mother especially, when they scold a child or even beat a child, it is for the child's own good, right? So in this way, whatever karmas we do, the nitya karmas are ones that are our duty, and so they will incur a negative effect if not done, right? And then, of course, the other ones also, nemitic also comes under duties only, but involving society with according with us. So that also comes there. That is also important. Kamya karma is the ones that we do to fulfill our desires. That is also part of nature. But of course, we are supposed to reduce the karma karmas and especially stop wishing for things for ourselves. The more we connect to the world outside, the more we will be able to do for the people around us and more freedom we will have because they will also have, in turn, have a duty towards us. So the more we become a family member, the more family will also treat me as one of their own, right? If I just demand my things from the family, at one point of time, everyone will not be available in that measure. इतना अच्छे से नहीं सब हमें help करने आएंगे. We also have to do things for the family, then only the rest of the family members will do things for us. So the kamya karma come under the desire that we have. And then, of course, nishid is what we should not do at all, the fourth category. And the fifth, prayaschit, is when we have done nishid karma or something wrong, we have certain ways of solving the problem. So for nishid karma, we saw earlier, it is like a medicine, right? So we'll just look at it today also. So now out of these karmas, all of these karmas that we see, so far. Uh, s- uh, this theory of karma that we have seen, there are different corollaries that we can derive out of that from what we have learned. So first of all, what we saw was that what whoever is the karta, he is also the bhokta. So whoever has done a certain karma, that karma is will give a karma phalam or a fruit, and that fruit will go to the person only. So in the Mahabharata, there is a description that just like a cow and the cow's calf are united, even though there are thousands of cows, the calf will go and find its mother. So same way also karma also finds the doer. But for that, who is the guiding force? The guiding force is the uh, Paramatma. He is the Sutratma, Paramatma, the consciousness pervading through everyone's hearts. So because he is in within everyone's hearts, we also call him Antaryami. He regulates us from within. Antaha Yamayati. So Antaryami is the Lord within us. And because he knows each and every karma done by us in all our births, so he is able to give us the fruit at the desired time. He is called the karma phala data, the one who is giving, the giver of the fruits of every karma. So the Lord gives us all of those karma phalams, right? So whoever is the karta, that person will also be a bhokta. So that gives us a very positive attitude in life, that whenever something wrong is happening to me, it is because of some karma in my past. Whatever karma phala I am receiving today, जो भी मुझे फल आज मिल रहा है, मेरी किसी ना किसी पुराने प्रयत्न के कारण है, some action in my past. And so we stop blaming others. We stop blaming others. We focus on ourselves. We focus on improving ourselves, and we focus on doing whatever is best within our capacities, within our capabilities. So even in the Gita also, Bhagwan said that Uddharet Atmanam. So it's in the sixth chapter. Let me see if I have it here. Yes, Gita, yeah. Okay, I'll just share it on the screen. Yeah, it's in the sixth chapter, fifth verse, I think. So, yeah, fifth verse. So, Uddharet Atmanam, Atmanam, na Atmanam avasadayet, Atmev hi Atmano Bandhu, Atmev Ripur Atmanam. So the Lord is watching us. He says, you are the one who's responsible for all your actions. Whatever you have done, you only can save yourself, you only can salvage yourself. So do not go into the lower activities, because the human is you yourself are your own best friend, and you yourself are also your own worst enemy. Uh, Bandhu eva atmana, ripu atmana. You are also your best friend, and you are also your ripu. You are your enemy. Why? Because the more we do good, the more we strive towards self-improvement, we become our own friend. We move towards progress. We move upwards in life. We do sadhana. We give up our lower base tendencies. And once we give them up, we become fit vehicles to receive the knowledge of the Lord. And once we do the reverse, we do wrong things, we hurt people, we become our own worst enemies, because we destroy ourselves internally. We destroy our emotions, we destroy our feelings, we destroy our goodwill towards people in the world, and end up being alienated, right? So that karma theory, the first corollary is, it gives us responsibility for our actions. It helps us to stop blaming others, and always look inwards. So the world is not responsible for for the things happening to me, or so I must change myself. I cannot change the world. The world will always remain the way it is, right? In fact, the world is giving me certain bad experience, that also is coming because I did some karma in my life, which is hurt me, which is hurting me today. So I have to improve myself. I should stop blaming the people. The people who have come into my life, who are bringing that bad experience, they are merely vehicles or vessels for carrying out the law of karma. They have become merely the source through which. So if something wrong is happening to me, it is just to work out some wrong thought of mine, some, or even, as I said, in my upward journey, when I move upward in life, there will come different tests to see that whether I'm fit enough to be moving into the next class. Just like we have an exam to go into the next class in school and college. So that test comes in life also. If we are not fit enough, we will not move up to the next class, right? So same way with karma also. So that is the first law. Then the second law, so if because of the past karma, the past I is doing a karma, and the current I is receiving the karma phalam, you extend that to the future. You can extend that to the future. So what happens when you extend that to future? That gives you the law of free will. That gives you the law of free will. How so? So in lot of other philosophies, or in foreign philosophies, there is this theory of fatalism, that whatever is going to happen has to happen, nothing can change. So we see a lot of situations in Shastra also, where a lot of things are happening that they are saying is predestined, it had to happen. But why was it predestined? It is predestined because I did some karma in my future earlier life that is bringing me this situation. So that is basically the concept of free will in Hindu Shastras, that whatever happened earlier is bringing a situation in my life today which I cannot change. Okay. But what I'm doing today will bring a situation in my later life. So I today can create my future. Today I whatever I do, आज मैं जो भी करता हूँ या करती हूँ, whatever I do today will create my future. So if I do good things, I will create a good and bright future for me in the later time. So because of that, it gives me a sense of positivity to do good things in life and give up this theory of fatalism totally. So, fate and free will is a permanent discussion in so many philosophies, so many online groups also. So, they reach the conclusion that fate is inevitable. Whatever is going to happen is going to happen. In a way, that is true. But why? Because we have done something that brought that fate into our lives. We ourselves have done it. Nothing is going to happen to me unless I deserve it. Right? So whatever is happening is because I did something to get that kind of situation in my life. So similarly, applying that for the future, whatever I do with whatever the karma is will become my fate. But whatever I do with that fate, whatever I do in that situation, it becomes my free will. That becomes my free will, right? And we have another beautiful stepwise level of free will also. How? Because wherever my association is, upon that represents the width or the range of my free will, right? So if my association is with my own body, my free will is limited to my own body only. But if my association is wider, say with my wife or husband or child or and so on, my free will increases. And it goes on increasing till increase my sphere of influence to my family, my society, my district, state, country, and the whole universe. So it depends on how where my association is. If I'm able to see the pain of people even far away, help them with that, that means my sensitivity is greater. That means my free will is greater. And of course, finally, when I see myself as the ultimate, the Atma, when the Gyan stage is reached, then my freedom is infinite. Then I enjoy infinite free will. So that is the state of free will in our Shastras. It gives us the choice to select the amount of free will we want. That is the choice it is, which is such a powerful, which such a powerful situation or such an empowering thought for us that we create our future, we create our free will, and we also create the free will of the whole universe if we are associated with it and extend our love and our activities to the universe. Right. So that is the second corollary of this theory of karma, a very beautiful and important one. And then the third one is a lot of people will say that good things are happening to a bad person or bad things are happening to a good person. So we have to be very careful. Don't make a wrong equation. Don't make a wrong equation between karma phalam and karta. Right. So we think that this karta that is standing in front of us or the karta that I myself am, this person that I am, all the karmas that I am doing today will be fructifying right now also. So we will say this good thing has happened to this person. He didn't deserve it, or this bad thing has happened. He didn't deserve it. So we are equating it to this current karta only. But we have to remember this karta extends infinitely into the past. So there has to be some point in time where the action was done and we are receiving that fruit today. So today, if someone is an animal, so that is because he is still to work out his lower vrittis. So the lower vrittis will bring suffering. So once he has gone through all that suffering, he will move from the animal part to the higher part. Even in human birth, a lot of people are like animals only. The way they behave in society, the kind of arrogance, the kind of ill feeling they have towards others, the kind of harm they inflict on others, they are worse than animals also, right? So it's not necessary that you be born as an animal, but at least in human life, you have free will. So for them, situation is even much bad because the bad things they are doing is creating so much bad karma for them. For the animal, he is bound by his uh, whatever his nature is. So whatever he does, you can't blame him, right? So if a dog is going to cross the road and there is a rule that you cannot, there is a red light, then you cannot find the dog, right? The dog is not responsible. He doesn't know the law, right? So he cannot be fined. Sorry. So so similarly, all of us, when we are in this human birth, we have to remember that whatever is happening is through a lot of earlier karmas also, and those when those experience comes, we should give up the human tendency to correlate the current karta with every experience. There are so many other kartas that came and went. So we see in life also, no, a lot of people suffering, even in shastra also, right? So Duryodhana is enjoying the best of life while the Pandavas go through tough time. So all these come through some certain things that we had to suffer because of earlier actions or because of our positive journey towards a higher state. We receive these different kinds of tests. There are a lot of tests that we get in this world. So sometimes if the world is harsh on you, just think that I am being a good person. I am being trying to be my best. So these tests are coming. I have to get over them. And once you go through them, no, in future they will become moments of amusement for you. You will smile at the tough times that you had. You will remember even those of them with fondness that you were able to survive and fight your way through them. That will become a source of pride for you, right? So we have to be very clear that there is no problem with the world, nor with God, nor with justice. The problem lies with our creating a wrong equation, right? So that is the third corollary we can derive. Then the next one is the fourth corollary is that what we have seen is that whatever experience that we have, they are in the form of Agami and Prarabdha, right? So Agami is a previous karma and Prarabdha is the uh, one that we are having now, right? So now this karma is also what we call Adrishta. It is not known to us what will happen to us next. Even the next instant, what is going to happen, that is not possible. So whenever we have a good experience, a sukha, a good experience, so we that means we infer that we have a good prarabdha, and we if we have a bad experience, that then we have a bad prarabdha. So our shastras have given us tools by which we can know whatever is our good, whatever is coming for us. So that is done by Jyotish Shastra. The Jyotish Shastra is able to predict the good or bad times that are going to come to us. So according to the time of our birth, the stars, they decide what is coming. So the stars are not deciding actually. It is we who have decided whatever actions we have done. Because of that, we are born according to that time. So those situations are going to come to us, right? So like if I have to see a certain beautiful city, I have to reach there, right? I have to have the resources to get there. So once I reach there, then only I will be able to enjoy that city. So my previous karma should be there for me to be able to reach there. So accordingly, whatever I am going to enjoy in my life, I will reach there. So the shastras tell us they can predict our situations in future life. So from that we get an indicator of if any something bad is going to happen, we can do our prayashchit karma. We can reduce the effect of what is going to come. So we have to remember one very important thing about Prayashchit Karma. That is, this Prayashchit Karma is like medicine. For every disease, do we have a cure for all the diseases? Is there a cure for all diseases? No, right? So we take a medicine for some diseases, the cure is going to happen. So Prayashchit will work in that way. We will escape whatever is going to come. But then there are some diseases which will still give us a lot of suffering, and then slowly we will improve our way through that. Or maybe sometimes we will have to take medicines for lifetime also. There are some diseases like that. But the medicine will help us. It will alleviate the pain, right? And then of course there are some diseases for which there is no cure. So our Shastra gives us the tools by which we can know whatever is going to come to us. But of course, it always says that the best way is to remain physically and mentally strong so we can bear our way through those situations instead of trying to think what happened, what is going to happen, and worrying ourselves too much. But for some people, that knowing is helpful in doing some preventive act. So that Prayashchit karma can help us overcome the bad effects of things that are going to come in our life later on. Okay, so that is the fourth corollary. And then the fifth and final corollary of the law of karma is that in any particular janma or birth, all the karmas, whatever karmas that we have, we cannot exhaust all of them, right? We may exhaust the prarabdha for this janma, but we are creating more for future. So there must be some bhokta, some person who will be available to bear that, bear the fruits or receive the fruits of those actions. So therefore, there must be someone who will move on to the next body. So that is our sukshma shariram, our subtle body. So from that comes the corollary that there has to be a punarjarma. And extending backwards, there were other earlier jarmas also. So according to our theory, all of us will have had a lot of good janmas also, and we will have a lot of janmas earlier also, and we will also have more janmas in the future. This is a continuing cycle which will be broken only when we attain knowledge, right? So anyone will any even an animal like a dog will get good or bad situation. Some dog will live in a big house, someone is living on the streets. So some good action of that dog will be there from a previous birth to give him better situation in this one, or bad one will be there to give him a bad situation. But whatever karmas we do, the animals will be able to work out those karmas, and then when the bad karmas are less and good karmas are more, that jiva, that being will be born in a higher birth, right? Mhm. So now at the time of whatever our death is, the prarabdha for his birth is exhausted, and then yes, whatever agami also we created for this birth, that also is exhausted, and then we go into the next birth. So the consciousness, uh, the reflected consciousness, uh, acting on the subtle body. So reflecting medium 3 and the reflecting consciousness 3 together, they will move on to the next body. The original consciousness does not move. The original consciousness is infinite. It will not move. But the reflected consciousness, it moves on to the next body. And in that, the next series of births and deaths continues, right? So we have seen the karma theory in most parts. Of course, this is a very vast topic. There is, and no one can know all angles also. No one can know all each and every karma, what happens with which karma. That is the domain of the Lord. Only God, Bhagwan can know that. But we can know the general process by which it works. So this general process we have seen so far. So now, any questions you can ask? So for this class, and because today we will wind up this text. So we have around 15-20 minutes. So anyone wants to ask something, any doubts, any clarity that was not able to express very well? Anyone wants to ask something?
Sir, I do have a few doubts. I've
Yes.
revised up to the first 9 lectures. I'm yet to watch the other 9, sir, and I'll have doubts from that. Maybe I want to ask you about that in future.
Yeah, yeah.
Now I'll ask the doubts that I have.
Hmm.
Sir, can causal body can be considered a subtle form of chitta?
Causal body. Uh, no, causal body is not exactly a subtle form of chitta because causal body is it's formed purely of vrittis, vasanas in fact in the form of ignorance, right? So there is in no way that you can illuminate that vasana unless the subtle body or the gross body is present. So for the pure causal body is not available for perception, but the chitta is available for perception. That is the basic difference. But in essence, look, everything is coming from the five elements only, right? So in that way, there is a common source for both of them. But chitta is the holder of all memories, right? But causal body is the seed for our next janmas. So it contains the vasanas. So those vasanas are in the form of ignorance, right? So ignorance is not available for perception. That is the difference, basically.
So my doubt is because I am
Hmm.
aware of my likes and dislikes,
Hmm.
which means I'm aware of my vasanas. So
Hmm.
since I am usually you're not aware of your karana sharira,
Hmm.
and I am aware of my vasana, so it should be present in the sukshma sharira, right?
Yeah, yeah. In the Sukshma Sharir, the vasana, you look, you cannot actually know your vasanas, the when your vasana become a vritti, thought, then it is known to you. So before being a vritti, it is not known to you actually. It is known only to the Lord. So therefore, the that is why the vasanas we say are in the Karan Sharir because Karan Sharir is Agyan Rupam. It is not knowable. So you cannot know your vasanas. You can know your vasana once it becomes a vritti, once it becomes a thought that I like to do this or I want to do this. Whenever I say I like, I want, it is a vritti. But when it is a vasana, it is very subtle. You cannot tell what your vasanas are. There are unlimited number of vasanas. None of them you can see or perceive. But when it becomes a vritti or a thought, then you can see. यू कैनॉट सी योर वासना वासना कारण शरीर में कारण शरीर कोई भी देख नहीं सकता वासना तो वो होती है ना जो दबी हुई इच्छा की हाँ दबी हुई इच्छा फिर फ्रॉम दैट विल बी बॉर्न सम डिजायर टू डू समथिंग हाँ वेन एवर देर इज अ स्टिमुलस हाँ कोई भी चीज है तो वो उस वासना को जगाएगा या सो so then that vasana will become in the form of thought. As long as it is not available as thought, it is a vasana. The moment it becomes available for thought, it becomes a vritti, or the thought is a vritti only, right? So till that time it is available for experience, then only it becomes a vritti. So then earlier it was vasana, now it becomes vritti. So my vasana is a general thing. I like sweet things. I like sweet things. That is a vasana. Yeah. But when that vasana becomes there is a particular sweet in front of me and I see that and I say I like this and I want to have that, then it becomes a vritti, right? So vasana is not perceptible because sometimes even I'm generalizing when I say I like sweet things. There are certain sweet things I might not also like, right? So we can never say what our vasanas are. The vasanas are hidden in deeper regions below the subconsciousness, because the consciousness, subconsciousness all come under Sukh Sharir only. But that vasana is buried so deep, it is not available for experience. If it is available for experience, it is a vritti. That is the basic difference. Is it, did it make sense?
I still have some doubts about this, sir. Say, let's say now I'm
Yeah,
seeing
it is a
something.
very, very tough thing to comprehend, a very subtle one, I know. So it's very good that you brought it up. But whatever the Shastra says is all this only, that whatever vasanas are, they are belong to the Karan Sharir, which is Agyan Rupam. But you want to ask something? Yes, please go ahead.
So, which means even now I see something new,
Mm-hmm.
a new sweet, but I like it. And this is a
Mm-hmm.
new vasana I'm creating because I've attached some raga to it.
Yeah.
This, does it get recorded in Chitta in the Sukshma Sharira or it goes straight away to Karana Sharira?
It goes straight to Karan Sharir. In Chitta, the experience samskara is recorded. Right? The samskara is recorded that I ate this thing and I liked it. Right? Or I ate this thing. This is the taste of that thing. That is the samskara that will be recorded in the chitta. Right? But the like and dislike towards that will go deep down into my Karan Sharir. So that is not available for perception. That's previous janmas also. Yes, all infinite. In fact, our vasanas change. Yeah. Vasanas change with janma. That is why we say that if we have to work on our self improvement, we have to work at the level of Karan Sharir. Hmm. So we have to work at the level of the vasanas. Once we learn to once we understand that these vasanas are purely because of my wrong knowledge, that I am uh, I am a jiva. So that is the reason for us struggles in the world. Once I give up that notion, I make my journey through the world more smoother.
All right, sir. During death, does only Sukshma Sharira leave the Atma, or even Karana Sharira, Stula rolls into Sukshma, Sukshma into Karana, and Karana leaves the Atma?
So Karan is the stool, Sukshma, and Karan Sharir are all part of that being only, right? So, Sukshma, the Karan Sharir is in the form of Vasana, so that is not available, as I said again, for perception. It is not going to be there. But the Sukshma Sharir has all your samskaras, right? All your samskaras are there. So, it is the Sukshma Sharir that is going to move. Also, the Karan Sharir also will move. It is the Karan Sharir is going to be the reason, the pushing power, the impelling force for moving your body, Sukshma Sharir from one body to the next. Right? Whatever my vasanas are, they form the basis as to what kind of Sharir I want for the next birth. Right? So it's not that the Sukshma Sharir will resolve into the Karan Sharir. They are both there only together. But we say that the Karan Sharir travels pushed by the Sukshma Sharir travels pushed by the Karan Sharir. So they are like uh, intimately associated.
All right, sir.
Hmm.
And in deep sleep, does one experience only Karana Sharira or Turiya also?
Only Karan Sharir or
Turiya,
Surya.
Turiya. Or
Turiya.
am I saying
Oh,
it
no,
wrong?
no.
Oh,
No,
Turiya. Okay, sorry.
Turiya is not in deep sleep. Turiya is Gyan Avastha. So they are opposite of each other. In deep sleep, there is what we call the state of no experience. So that is Karan Sharir, where all vrittis become rolled into one ball, you can say, sort of. So there is no differentiation between different vrittis. So in Karan Sharir, you cannot separate the vrittis. You cannot separate the vasanas. They are not available for separation. They are available separately only when in the Sukshma Sharir. So in Karan Sharir or deep sleep, there is no experience. Whereas in Turiya, it is the state of the highest, where I am aware that I am Atma only and nothing else exists. Everything else that is seen on the Atma. So that is the state of Gyan or knowledge, or in the state of Samadhi. Samadhi with knowledge, right? Not the other Samadhi. So that Samadhi Avastha can be a thoughtless one. It can also be a samadhi with the thought of knowledge, I am Atma. So when that samadhi avastha is there, when I am aware of the knowledge that I alone am, I am Atma, that is the turiya avastha. So it is not actually a state. It is the state that goes through all states. It is the state within which all merge. But deep sleep is absence of experience, when there is no experience at all. So after the swapna avastha, where I am having experiences at the subtle level, when those also merge back, when they also dissolve back, then, then that swapna avastha leads to the final deep sleep state. That is state of total agyanam. Whereas turiya is total jnanam. So both are polar opposites of each other.
All right, sir. Does bhoga mean experience or enjoyment?
Both experience and enjoyment, both. So I have made a particular dish. So that I have done a karma where I have made that dish. So when I finally that dish is ready, I consume that dish. So consuming that is bhoga. I've eaten it now, then it's finished. So my bhoga is finished. The item, the karma phala or whatever, that also has gone away. So the going away of that karma phalam is bhog.
Oh,
When
so
it
the
is,
result may, like I eat the food, I may
hmm.
like it or I may not like it.
Yeah, that is the generation of future vasana. I have enjoyed it. So if I like it a lot, I will try to maybe have it again in the future. Right. So that is why for humans, every experience also involves creating a future vasana. Right. So whatever situations, so as I said, no, karma phala can come in the form of situation. I did a, I hurt someone really bad. So I am going to be in a place where I am experiencing a lot of tension or worry or pain. So that situation, that state is one where I am bearing the karma phalam. There I am doing a bhoga in the form of a situation or pain. So once I've gone through that situation, my karma phala is complete. My bhoga is complete. So I have enjoyed in a way that negative thing, that negative pain. And so whatever karma I did, I have suffered whatever was required for that. So everything is cancelled out, finished. Right. But the way I react in that situation will become my prarabdha or will become my agami karma for the next coming situation. Right. So if there is a tough time that has come and I was able to navigate it successfully, then that situation is less likely to come in the future, right? But if I am not able to navigate, it will come again to test whether I am prepared again to face it. So if I get angry, the situations will keep coming till I can give up my anger. If I am not able to come, those situations will come more and more frequently. So that is how it works.
Thank you, sir. Next is about Swatmani Kriya Abhavat.
Hmm.
So there are two different points I've written in my notes.
Hmm.
I don't know which one of these is right. So the source of anything cannot be perceived by that which is grosser than it is one point. The other one is that anything that perceives an object cannot perceive itself. So the object
Yeah, that
cannot, any object cannot act upon itself. Which of these two is right?
second one, any object cannot act upon itself, right? So just like the sense organs cannot see themselves, the seeing power cannot see itself because it is so subtle that it is subtler than thing it is. So always the perceiver or the mm, one who's acting will be more subtle than the than on what it is acting. So so if I am like eating something, if I'm consuming something, then I, the consumer, is what? I, the consumer, in that case, is the prana. Right. So the prana is subtle. That is why it is able to consume the grosser thing. But the prana cannot act upon itself. Prana cannot see itself, or prana cannot move itself. Right. It will need something more subtle to move it. So the consciousness will need to be there for the prana to move. Consciousness is more subtle. So consciousness is the subtlest. So nothing can. Uh, no one can experience the consciousness because it is the experiencer only. So that is Swatmani Kriya Bhava. So Atma cannot act upon itself. So if everything is Atma, then Atma cannot be perceived by neither the sense organs nor the mind or anything. But Atma can be understood as me, right? So I exist or I am conscious, that is always available to me. So it is through every experience that I know that I exist. But I don't, even without experience, I also know that I exist. So that is Swatmani Kriya Bhava, that I cannot be known by something. Like you said, the gross part also, that also is available, valid, that something gross cannot perceive whatever is subtler than it.
All right, sir. Uh, the next is, I couldn't understand the part where you said the Jagrit Avasthas create a new mind by, it's created by Ishvara, and all of us are thoughts in the mind of Ishvara. And and you also gave an example of the tiger in the dream is me, the person running from the tiger is also me, the stick used to scare is also me. It is not
Mhm.
separate from me. So
Mhm.
similarly, all of this world is also Ishvara and nothing is separate from it. Could you explain more about it, sir?
Yeah, because you see, when I see the dream, then I know clearly that there is no one else beside me. My dream cannot be seen by anyone else, right? So I alone am the seer of that dream. So when I see that dream and when I wake up from that dream later on, it is clear to me that the whole experience of the dream was within myself only. So it was born out of my own vasanas only, my own experiences earlier. So whatever I see in the dream is not separate from me, because there is nothing existing separately that I can perceive outside of me, whatever I see in that dream, right? But regarding this world that we see there around us, so this world, there are so many beings that are interacting with each other, right? So this being that is interacting with the other beings, uh, all the other beings are not with, they cannot be within me, right? Because this being is limited. This being is limited. But who is unlimited? Ishvara, or the consciousness. So this consciousness is unlimited. So all beings are within it, right? So that is how we say that all beings are thoughts in the mind of Ishvara. Because what do all beings have in common? They all have a shape, right? Akar hai sab mein. Naam roop hai. We have a name and a form. So akar is there. So akar can only be of a thought, right? Something that is a vritti, that only can have a shape. Something that is not a thought cannot have a shape, right? So a vasana cannot have a shape, but something that is a thought can have a shape. So whose thoughts? They cannot be my thoughts. I cannot be my own thought. So we are all thoughts in the mind of Ishvara, because he is infinite. So we are all included within Ishvara. So we are all thoughts within the mind of Ishvara. Just like in a play, all the characters are thoughts in the mind of the author, right? So if Shakespeare has created Macbeth, all the characters are thoughts in the mind of Shakespeare only, right? So similarly, we are also thoughts in that play, which Ishvara is the playwright. And so that is why we all appear very real to each other, right? But for him, nothing is real. For him, everything is imagination. So just like for Shakespeare, all his characters are an imagination. For Ishvara, we are also imagination. But for each of us, the other beings appear separate from us. Other beings appear real. So when we go into the state of dream state, then only we see that thing, that how it is possible that everything can be within me also, right? Same way, when I finally associate myself with that infinite consciousness through Mahavakyam Tattwamasi, that I am that consciousness. So Ishvara is not separate from me. I and Ishvara are the same consciousness. So from that angle, I am everything. I have become everything. So all the beings are within me only. Me as in the infinite consciousness. So that is why we say Ishvara separately. because otherwise we cannot understand how you these things appear real to us. सब कुछ अलग है, मैं सबसे व्यवहार कर रहा हूँ, आई कैन सी टच एवरीवन अराउंड मी, that is only because we are all thoughts in the mind of Ishvara. That helps explain a lot of doubts that we have about how the nature of the world, how everything is appearing separate, how we are able to interact with each other. So there are infinite jivas available to Ishvara in potential form. He manifests them in the form of the story of the universe, this story that we are seeing unfolding before us, right?
So, but then in Jagrita Avastha,
Hmm.
I am thinking differently, you're thinking differently. And how then can we say it is the Ishvara's mind who is thinking these thoughts? It
Yeah.
seems like
So
my Ahankara is different, yours is different.
yeah, different because Ishvara has given all the characters different, thoughts. So sometimes, for the story writer, he doesn't need to write each and every part of the story. He gives the characters all different situations whereby they can live out their nature. Right. Similarly, God has given us this whole universe so that we can live out our nature. So we Jivas are born out of ignorance. I am born because of ignorance of my true nature. That is why I have become this limited Jiva. So, Ishvara has given me the whole field whereby I can live out my world of experiences. So, when I live out this world of experience, he gives me all the situations. Similarly, Ishvara, say Shakespeare has created a story. So, he knows that this character is evil. So, he creates a situation where that evil person can manifest his thoughts or his nature, and then accordingly that person will keep on behaving in those situations and reach whatever that goal is set for it, right? So sometimes that flexibility is there in the story, but for a human being that flexibility is limited. For Ishvara it is infinite. That is why he has given us infinite freedom. According to our vasanas, he has built the world. Whatever we need to experience our different situations, whatever karmas he has done, we have done or in earlier janmas, he will guide uh, to give us situations where we can live out the karma phalam or we can experience the karma phalam. So Ishvara is giving the jivas full independence to live according to their desires, right? But in a way, in that way, we are all thoughts in the mind of Ishvara only. Why? Because that thought itself can take a form and live out uh, a life in which it can experience whatever it wants to live. It's not one thought, it's a bundle of thoughts, right?
So, uh, can I just rephrase it in a way I understood?
Mm.
So, Ishvara is the field in which everyone exists. So, all our thoughts are also in Ishvara. But
Yeah,
then, because of free will, the kind of vritti we create is our own.
yeah. The jiva has freedom. The jiva has created a certain set of vrittis or desires. According to that, he is given the field or area to work them out or to live them out, right?
All right, so these are all the questions I have from the first 9 chapters.
Okay, good. Anything else you can ask later. So, anyone else? You can show me your beautiful faces, those who want to maybe interact, even if you don't interact. Urshita, you have any questions? Bubbly Didi, Uncle Ji, anyone else, anything else? Or shall we conclude for
लास्ट का
today?
तो मैंने पढ़ा नहीं भैया,
हाँ, अच्छा
देखा नहीं
अच्छा,
हमने, तो बस पढ़ेंगे। मैंने कुछ क्वेश्चन नोट करके रखे हुए हैं, फिर एक बार आपको कॉल करके सारे सॉल्व करवाऊंगी।
ठीक है। अभी कुछ याद आ रहा है तो आप पूछो, कुछ है तो पूछने वाला।
अभी तो एक तो मेरा यही था क्वेश्चन जो अभी आपने बोला कि जो
हम्म
बुरे लोग होते हैं, मैं
हम्म
हमेशा कहती हूँ जितने बुरे लोग हैं वो हमेशा फलते फूलते रहते हैं, और जो
हम्म।
अच्छे हैं जो 10 कमांड्स के हिसाब से चलते हैं वो ही
हाँ
हमेशा दुख पाते हैं। क्यों?
हाँ हाँ
ये हमेशा मैं कहती हूँ।
हाँ जी हाँ जी, नहीं ये हमें वही मैंने बोला ना, हम गलत इक्वेशन बनाते हैं, वी क्रिएट द रॉन्ग इक्वेशन दैट वी सी ओनली द करंट पर्सन। सो दोनों तरह से है। जो बुरे लोग हैं उनको 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 अच्छा सिचुएशन मिल रहा है, कहीं पुराना उन्होंने अच्छा कर्म किया होगा, दे डिड समथिंग गुड इन देयर पास्ट, राइट। और
हम्म।
सेकंड थिंग इज दे डोंट वांट टू राइज, तो वो उसी कंफर्ट जोन में रहना चाहते हैं, तो उनको भगवान कोई टफ सिचुएशन देते ही नहीं है, वो कहते हैं तुम वहीं पड़े रहो। तो इन अ वे
ओके।
हमें लग रहा है कि अच्छी सिचुएशन है, बट वो कहीं उठ नहीं रहे हैं लाइफ में, वो एक ही
हम्म।
लेवल पे है। बट जो अच्छे लोग हैं वो उनको
हम्म।
भगवान सिचुएशन देते हैं कि आप उठो ऊपर, आप थोड़ा कम में भी रहने की। हम्म, हाँ जी बोलो।
क्या हो गया? बीच में से कट गया।
कट गया था क्या?
हाँ जी।
ओके। तो हटा दीजिए। ठीक है, तो मैं दोबारा रिपीट कर देता हूँ, आई विल रिपीट अगेन। सो जो भी लोग हैं, वट एवर पीपल आर देयर इन द वर्ल्ड, इफ देर इज समथिंग बैड हैपनिंग टू अस, it can be in two ways. First, one way is that we have done something bad, so we are getting bad karma phalam. So that bad will maybe from a previous birth. So lot of people, they are wasting their prarabdha there. उनको जो अच्छा मिल रहा है उससे बल्कि कुछ अच्छा कर नहीं रहे आगे, जो बुरे लोग हैं। सो वो उनका
हम्म।
लॉस है। उनका लॉस है कि वो अच्छे काम नहीं कर रहे हैं, वो सिर्फ एंजॉय कर रहे हैं जो अच्छा मिल रहा है, और आगे के
हम्म।
लिए उनकी नेक्स्ट जन्म जो है खराब होने वाला है। और जो अच्छे लोग हैं उनको, आपको कभी लगता हो वेन एवर यू फील दैट दे आर नॉट गेटिंग गुड एक्सपीरियंस, सो दे आर बीइंग टेस्टेड बाय नेचर। वन थिंग इज दैट दे डिड समथिंग रॉन्ग इन द पास्ट, सो दे आर गेटिंग अ चांस टू गेट ओवर दैट थॉट, है वो नेगेटिव थॉट से ऊपर उठने का। कि अभी वो, देखो कई लोगों को ना गिल्ट नहीं होता, सम पीपल डोंट हैव गिल्ट। सो व्हेन दे डोंट हैव
यस।
गिल्ट, they will not get the situation where they can resolve the guilt, right? And
हम्म।
they will stay in that lower state for maybe so many janmas. But
हम्म।
the ones who have guilt, they make an effort to improve. आपको लगता है ना
हम्म।
आपने कोई गलती की, आप कोशिश करते हो सुधरने की, यू ट्राई टू
हाँ
इम्प्रूव
जी।
योर सेल्फ। सो नेचर गिव्स यू द सिचुएशन वेर यू कैन वर्क आउट दैट गिल्ट, you can rise above that guilt and become a better
हम्म।
person. So
हम्म।
आपको लग रहा है, you are thinking that some bad situation or tough situation is happening. No tough situation is permanent. Tough situation will come to test you and make your mind stronger. Ultimately, what is the aim in life? हमारा आखिरी लक्ष्य, हमारा माइंड स्ट्रांग होना चाहिए। सो वी वट एवर सिचुएशन कम्स, वी आर एबल टू बेयर इट, राइट। अगर हम डेली एक्सरसाइज नहीं करते तो हम बेड पे पड़ जाएंगे, विल राइट वी डोंट नॉट डूइंग एक्सरसाइज, सो विल बिकम वीक, राइट। सो वी हैव टू मेक दैट एफर्ट ना। once we make that effort, we will be stronger, we will be able to bear more diseases. But if we don't make the
हम्म।
effort, then the disease will come, we'll not be able to be, will collapse. So we
हम्म।
have to keep improving in life, then only. But whenever you do that exercise, no, it will be tougher every day. First day you will do, then
हम्म।
you will not be able to go beyond few steps. So next day you start
हम्म।
again, you can do little bit more. So that way, whenever we are going to rise in sadhana, जब हम ऊपर उठेंगे, हमारे पास टेस्ट आएंगे, lot of test will come. But once we cross that, no,
हम्म।
next time it won't happen. The pain that is happening in your stomach or your thighs after the first 5 to 10 days of walking, after 1 month, it will not happen. You will be walking double the distance. Right? So that is how we have to build our stamina in life. Just like we have to get physically stronger, make us
हम्म।
mentally strong. Mentally stronger,
ओके।
the more stronger we are, we can
हम्म।
tolerate any situation. The ones
हम्म।
who are always living in good times, no, they become weak. They are not able to.
हम्म।
आज पुराने लोगों को देख लो, वो कितना उनमें स्ट्रेंथ है कुछ भी बेयर करने का। यंग
यप।
बच्चे हैं, सारा टाइम दे, और मोस्ट ऑफ द यंग किड्स दे वांट टू लाई इन बेड ऑल टाइम, प्ले ऑन द कंप्यूटर, टीवी, वॉच टीवी।
हम्म।
So they are physically and mentally weak, right?
हम्म।
Once we try to move out of our comfort zone, we will be able to experience the world, and we experience the tough times then we are strong enough to go through. So it doesn't matter bad situation come, don't worry. Whenever it has come to make me stronger in life. So let me take that as a
Okay.
blessing. Everything is a blessing from God. जो साधु होता है
हम्म
ना वो ये कहता है कि बुरा टाइम आया है तो भगवान मुझे देख रहे हैं, गॉड इज लुकिंग
हम्म
आफ्टर मी, ही इज ट्राइंग टू हेल्प मी इम्प्रूव. But when a good time has come, that means I am doing what I want. I am not doing what God wants. But when tough time
ओके
comes, he says, I am doing what God wants. So that is the difference
हम्म
in outlook we have to bring in our life, right?
ओके थैंक यू
Welcome. Urshita, you gonna ask something today? पूछना है कुछ? No?
I think she's speaking it. She's not unmuted herself.
Oh, beta, you are not. You are in mute, I think. Are you trying to say something? How long does a soul take? Very nice. How long does a soul take for rebirth? Right? So it depends on the strength of our vasanas and when my prarabdha is going to mature. Right? So sometimes it may be immediate also. Someone dies within a few seconds or within a few days that we will search a new body. Right? And it is available. But sometimes that a new body is not available, right? So then the soul will have to wait, the jiva will have to wait. So he will go into what we call is called the pitar lok. So pitar loka, the loka of the forefathers, where he will keep on living till the his prarabdha is mature enough and a body is available for him to take birth. So that may take a lot of time also, but it is not specified anywhere how much time it can be, maximum or minimum. But minimum can be few seconds also, maximum also can be very long. But generally it is said that just like for a human being, the age limit is 100 years. Some can go up to 120, 130 maybe, I'm not sure, but 130 I think. So same way for the pitars, there are our 1 month is equal to 1 day of theirs. So 3000. So 3000 years is the lifetime of one pitar, full lifetime. So that is the maximum amount till they can be in that state, till they will get birth. But usually it is not always that long. So same way with we should also think of ourselves in life. If someone dies early, no, that is because he has able to live out his prarabdha very well. He will now go into the next body. So sometimes early death happens. So he escaped the pain that was written for him. So think that in a positive way. You can unmute yourself if you want to ask something, beta.
Thank you, sir.
Chalo. No more questions today then?
That's all, sir.
Okay, so write down and maybe you can ask me. Maybe we can, have some video session because I like to answer in front. Sometimes, no, I've answered something in chat and it's not sufficient. So then again, you have to ask, again, you take time. Of course, I'm fine with that also. We can do that also. Or maybe you can do with the voice message, but we can have. So we will discuss later on. I will discuss with you guys what we want to do next, maybe another Prakaran Grantha, or maybe we can go to Upanishads, whichever is agreeable to all of us, we can continue from there, right? Chalo. Okay, then thank you all so much for helping me complete this text. It was a learning journey for me. Thank you all for being here and listening to me, bearing with my nonsense and hel helping me with my learning. And I hope that uh, I somehow the Lord has made a positive contribution to our life. Something that we have learned will help us in improving our journey in life. And I pray that for all of you, that all of you take that benefit forward, do something good with your life, increase your association with the Lord, or hold on to Him with more reverence, because If you give surrender everything to him, he will be there for all your needs. He will always be available for you. He will always be your guiding light. We just need to surrender to the Lord. Whatever name you give him, whatever form, he may be Kanaji, he may be Rama, he may be any other Jesus or anyone, any form that is your favorite, he will appear to you in that form because he is infinite. He can take all forms. So someday he can be both Rama and Krishna also. So whatever your Shraddha, he will appear to you. Whatever your faith, whatever your love, keep reading good books, good scriptures, and of course, anything you want to ask me, I'm always available for you. So I hope you always be in his lap and take care. God bless all of you and have a wonderful time ahead. Till the next class, God bless you all. Hari Om, everyone.
Hari Om, sir. Thank you very much.
Welcome.